Richmond baking entrepreneur Kara Bunton is back in the Virginia This Morning kitchen, ready to share another one of her sweet creations. It's great to have you back here.
It's nice to be back.
I tried to nibble on the paper already, and I noticed you trimmed that corner.
I was experimenting with a couple of the corners to see what would happen, but I did cut off your bite marks, yeah. But
this looks fun.
Last time I was here, we did cookies that had the fondant decorations on them, and I checked before I left, and the video is still up on the website. So if you go to WTVR.com, do a search for Candy Clay, and that'll bring the video up, and it'll show you how to decorate the cookies up to this point.
Okay. Thanks, Kara. You just did all the heavy lifting for us.
I'm making sure that it was there before I sent people there. But this is what you want to use, something that has a base of icing on it for this particular technique. But this particular technique is absolutely no talent required, no artistic ability.
Love it.
We used to, as decorators, you use all kinds of different medium. And the media that I'm using today is called wafer paper.
Okay.
It's an actual edible paper. It's made from potato starch, vegetable oil, and water.
Okay.
And you put it through a regular printer that has special cartridges that have food coloring in them. So it's food coloring on this, and you just cut them out. It's basically the only talent you need is kindergarten cutting ability. Okay. So if you want to do that, but I cut a whole bunch already, so you don't really have to.
I don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to.
You just don't.
Well, you can if you want. Yeah, you can eat the paper.
I'll set the scissors down.
Yeah. The only thing you need to remember with this is that since it's potato starch, it's a starch that will absorb moisture.
Okay.
So if you're having a wedding outside in July or August and it's going to be really humid, this might not be the best choice for a cake because
they're going to flutter.
Yeah, they start to absorb the moisture and they'll move around. And sometimes if it's really wet, they'll just dissolve. But it's very, very easy to use these if you're in a nice temperature controlled environment like this. I use the logo for my bridal association because it matches the teal theme.
Okay.
And the way that you use this, just cut it out. You print it on the paper, cut it out. And this is piping gel, but you can use corn syrup if that's easier to find.
Okay.
Piping gel is basically like a thinned down corn syrup, and it has some gums in it to make it sticky.
Okay. But regular old Caro corn syrup would work,
yeah,
right?
That's what I have to use on the cookies later.
Okay.
All right, so you take this, if you're going to decorate a cake, put the piping gel or corn syrup on it, and you just glue that right on.
Wow, this is essentially just like cut and paste and glue and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, I was kind of sloppy with this, and it's been sitting here, but if you want to go and pipe a little design around the edge, that's it.
Okay.
And this is the kind of thing that'd be really cute for, this is an engagement photo by Mike Topham Photography, and I printed it out and put it on the cookie, so you could use this for a wedding favor. You just put them in little bags at the end of the reception, everybody can take one home.
And it is super easy because not only would you cut and paste and be able to handle that, but when you're making these, I mean, this isn't like cookie cutters, you could go bananas, but this is just straight cut.
I rolled out a sugar cookie dough, very basic, and I took a pizza cutter and just made rectangles. I
have one of those.
You can do that.
Okay.
And here's my complete pandering. You can put any kind of thing that you want on Oreos.
We like this, even Virginia This Morning.
That's right, the Virginia This Morning logo. And I just dip this in a little chocolate, and you can take the wafer paper and put it right on the melted chocolate, and it'll stick and hold on to it.
Am I going to do a cookie?
You can do a cookie.
Okay.
Now this is corn syrup in a bottle.
All right.
And that's a lot easier. So if I can get the lid off.
Oh, can I pick this one?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
And you can either
dry
glue the whole thing
hands.
down. Make sure your hands are dry. If they get sticky, here's this, and there's the towel over there to dry them.
Okay. Do I just start painting?
Yeah, you can either paint or just take the bottle. It's probably easier, and put that probably directly on the cookie is easier.
Okay.
And I do on my website, which is a cake-to-remember.com, but you can get to it from the WTVR video.
Did I do too much?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
And you can go to my website, and there's a link to my YouTube channel, and there's also videos on there about how to do this.
Kara, you are crafty. Oh, this is literally just like using some, and then you know what? I'm going to touch up the edges.
Yeah.
How's that? So that it's like almost like Mod Podge.
It is, and that's all you need to do. And you just have to let it stick and dry. And the corn syrup eventually will dry hard. It might take a while because it's humid. I noticed it's a little more humid today.
It sure is. Nikki D told us.
Yeah, and
Anna
these
is on her way.
These are a little sticky, so you have to kind of keep the humidity in mind, but that's really the only thing.
Wet paper towel.
Wet paper towel, and if you touch this with wet hands, it's going to curl the paper, so make sure you dry it off.
Okay.
And the good thing about these is that if you go to put that on a cookie and it's too big, you can just cut off the end.
Ooh, do I get to use the scissors now?
You
Where'd
can
I
use
put
the
them?
scissors.
Okay.
Yeah, so just you put that, see how big it has to be, and you can just trim the whole thing. You can cut off a little bit if you just need to do that.
Okay, now Kara, you mentioned a regular old printer, special cartridges,
It's
and of
special
course this is
cartridges,
special
yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
But I would bet, because I was thinking about this on the way out, I would bet you probably don't want to just switch out cartridges on your, you need to dedicate one.
You have to have a dedicated printer, and really this is the kind of thing, unless you're going to be making a lot of these, you should just buy them online. You can buy edible images online. I sell them in my Etsy shop, and there's a company in Winchester that sells the printers and the cartridges, so if you do plan on doing a lot, then you can buy it from them. But it's better, you can just go online and do a search for wafer paper butterflies, and like I said, you can go to my website, there's links all over there.